Thanks for having me. Today, we're going to be talking about different AI tools and really how you can use them in your business. And for those of you who were at the APNA event, it's not the same presentation. And this one will be a little bit more interactive. And I'm going to be sharing my screen that has a presentation, and then it has a bunch of tabs on top as well. And really, every week there's something new coming out. And so it's really important for me to stay on top of that and teach people as I learn. So I'll be showing you some of the cool stuff that we've been creating for my business and in our community using like AI avatars and using that new Sora video, and then using some really intense, very trained custom GPTs. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Let me share my screen here. All right, are you all able to see my screen okay? Thumbs up work. Okay, sweet. All right. Well, thanks again for being here today. This is just kind of a look at what we're going to be going through. Uh, we're going to talk about AI tool stack. Like, what are some of the most important tools that I think you should have for your business? We're going to be talking about the difference between AI agents and automations and what are they. I'm going to be showing you this really awesome tool where you can create your own AI repository. For those of you who were at APNA, I did try to show that in one of my workshops, and I felt like we just did not have enough time. So hopefully today you'll at least be able to grab that URL and build one. And then I'm going to be sharing some really cool prompts with you today on bringing your brand voice into your AI tools, because that is the number one most important thing. I had a client slash friend of mine come over the other day, and we were sitting there, and she runs she runs her entire marketing department. And she's like, I know I need to use AI. I'm coming over. Let's sit. So she comes over and we're clicking through, I'm showing her all the tools. And it just became so apparent that, she didn't have her brand voice, her standards, her anything built around like why they are the business that they are built out. And so that's going to be really important, is figuring out your brand voice and your content pillars, and then how can you take all of that and bring it into AI tools. Definitely have to put the cart behind the horse there. um, and then I have some fun lessons learned that we're going to go through, and a quick how you could use AI this week. So well, I shouldn't say most of you probably don't know me, but my name is Robyn Anderson. My friends call me Jam, so it's become my nickname. And I think, oh, this is actually from the APNA event. Just put this together a little while ago. But I've been lucky enough where I've been able to travel the country for the past couple years, teaching people how to use AI for their business. So it's really evolved. One of these pictures, this one down in the lower left, was my very first keynote. And I remember showing people ChatGPT version 3, and their minds were just completely blown. They didn't know how to handle it. And now, just thinking back from my original presentations and what I was showing people to now, it's completely changed. I also do consulting, and we own Club Jam. It's also one of our brands. Club Jam is an amazing platform, if I may say so myself. So inside it, we have on-demand training. So we have foundations, marketing, sales, and systems. And it's really designed for people to jump in and really get their brand going with AI, and then figuring out their sales behind it. We also have the Clubhouse, and this is where there's prompts and tools and workbooks and just things that you can take and apply right away. And then the Jam community is where we do live events. So actually right before this, I just did a live event on how to build presentations using AI. Danny was there. And it's really cool. It's like a very interactive community. People can post questions, and lots of different types of business owners and small business teams in there. and it's becoming a really amazing resource. So just overall, I do consulting, we do training in Club Jam, we build websites, we build agents, and I have a small business helpline, which is fun too. So I'm going to show you just a little bit of what I do for my workday. And this is something I showed at Apna. So if you were there, you can go get a water. The rest of it is not repeat. But one of my favorite things are these agentic browsers. And the one I show here is Perplexity's Comet. And so what I did in this one is I said, browse LinkedIn for conversations about AI training, read through the comments, and then apply this question as you see fit. So the question I sent it is, what's your plan to upskill your team in 2026? Your team in AI in 2026. And then what it does is it goes through, and instead of just like copy and pasting the same comment all the time, it'll actually read the post, it'll look at who posted it, and it will write a response based on all of that information. So it's really thinking through how AI works. I have voice agents in our Club Jam, so it's really great. I used to get a lot of questions like, where do I learn this? Where is this? How do I learn what a prompt is? And now they have a voice agent that they could just use. And so that's been pretty cool as well. And then we're using make.com automations. And so this is something that I think is pretty important. And I'm actually going to pause and dive into this just a little bit more. So make.com is a great place to start building out automations. And an automation is something that happens regularly based on when you schedule it to go. So in this specific automation, you can see here as a little clock and an RSS feed. So that's what we would call the trigger. So every time this RSS feed sees a new blog get posted to our website, then it triggers this entire system to go. So the blog goes into Perplexity. Perplexity will summarize the blog, and then it routes into 3 different ChatGPT instances that are trained on my brand and what we do. And then the LinkedIn one goes and creates an image for LinkedIn. And then that final post and LinkedIn image goes to my email. The router here is sending that same blog post to my Instagram GPT, and then it's making an image, and then that goes directly to Instagram. And then we have the same thing here, a GPT built around buildingx.com content, and then goes to my email. Yes, these could go directly to x.com and go directly to LinkedIn, but I'm a little bit of a control freak, so I like to keep those kind of close to the chest and read them before I jump in. The next thing that I like to do is have Claude draft email responses to everyone in my inbox that's not spam. I don't know about you, but I wake up and I have a bunch of emails. I also have multiple email inboxes, so that's been a whole thing as well. But with Claude, I can simply go in, this is a screenshot of it, and I will switch on access to my Google Drive, and I'll say create draft responses to my unopened non-spam emails. Now, there are ways to actually have it happen within your email, but for this one, I, again, just control freak in me. I like to have it respond in the chat, but it is reading the emails and then it's giving me a response of what I should say. This saves me a ton of time. And of course, there's other ways that you could use it. If you're a Google Suite user like we are, Gemini has gotten amazing and it's inside your Gmail. I'm just going to be vulnerable and show you guys my Gmail right now and show you how this can respond. So let's see. Don't look at this. There's so many. There's so many. Okay, so we could hit respond. And if you haven't seen this before, there's this little tool right here. I'm going to zoom in. See this little pencil with a magic wand next to it? So you could write like your normal response, which would be, Hi, hey Jen, I have no idea what you are. Why are you emailing me? What do you do? Something like that. And then you could simply just click this button and you could have it polish, formalize, elaborate, or you could put in a little prompt to help me write it. But just polish, and you could see it rewrote my email. Hey, I received your email, but I'm unsure why. And then you can replace your text there. So I actually think that's a really great way to respond to emails. The reason I like to use Claude is I have this style. So you can see right here, it says use style Jam AI. So when I have that turned on, it does a really great job of responding to content in my exact voice. And it's really trained on how I speak and how I write. So that's why I prefer to use Claude and copy and paste it into my account. So another fun thing are custom GPTs, which I'm going to show you all about those today. Custom GPTs are in ChatGPT and they can be trained specifically on your business. And so actually I'm gonna go to my website to show you these in real life. If I just close your eyes, I have to scroll. Don't get dizzy. Okay, so on my about page, I have our real people, but then I have our real agents of Jam AI. So these are all instances of ChatGPT that are trained on my business, but then also on a very specific thing to do. Obviously, I'm a big Bravo fan, so I modeled these after the Real Housewives, and now they're the real agents of Jam AI. But you simply just click on them. You guys can use these, they're public facing, just to kind of see what they're all about. But you can see here, now she's taking a moment to load up. What happened to you? Let me try a different one. Hopefully ChatGPT isn't down. That happened the other day. Okay, good. Something's going on with my employee, Larissa. She's a little slow today, but we'll try Casey instead. So Casey is what's called a custom GPT. So you can see I'm inside ChatGPT, and Casey is my social media content creator. So if you just go to regular ChatGPT and you want to create social media posts, you have to be really careful about your prompt. You have to give it a lot of information about your business and why you're asking it to do what it's doing. You have to give it examples of different social media posts that you like. But for this, it's already trained on all of that. And I'll show you the back end of this as well. But here, we'll go write 5 quotes that resonate with our members. And you can see there's no training behind it. There's nothing that I had to give it besides that quick prompt. But you can see that it knows everything about my business and it's right on brand. So how it's doing that is on the back end of these custom GPTs, you're giving it 2 things. You're giving it a brain and you're giving it instructions. And so the brain part is this knowledge base. So you can see here, I've uploaded like 16 different PDFs of information about how we connect with our prospects on social media. I did different examples are in here. And then along with that, that's the brain, the knowledge. And then along with that is the action. So I gave it a personality. Your name is Casey and you're Club Jam's social media community builder who understands authentic connection beats flashy marketing every time. So you can see here, like this was really thought through, and there's a lot of instructions to go with Casey's brain because just like your business, every business should have very specific ways that it's creating content and being seen online. So that's what a custom GPT is. And so I think it's just an extra fun step to create these and give them a face or a look. because it's more fun to say like, oh, I'm gonna go have Morgan build my proposal than say custom GPT all the time. So I just want to take a break really quick and see if anyone has questions about anything that I've discussed so far. You can put them in the chat, or you can raise your hand, or so I like this to be interactive because I know that we're all kind of thinking as I'm showing people, and I want to make sure that I'm addressing it as we go. So awesome. So how do you train Claude to learn about your writing and voice style? I'm glad you asked that question. Who is that? Ruta. So when you're in Claude, which is Claude.ai, you hit this plus button. Oh, sorry. You hit the whatever that button is, search and tools. And then you'll hit use style. And under use style, you can go to create and edit styles. And so I like to do create custom style. And this works especially well if you've been creating a bunch of marketing materials for a long time, personally, because then you can add writing examples. For mine, I think I uploaded like, I don't know, 500 different examples of my writing. And so this is just an easy way to upload it. I wonder if it'll show what's in mine. No, so once it's selected, it has like the little pen and the name, and then it knows that it's writing in that style. Let's see. I've been using ChatGPT, the paid version. How do we create those custom GPTs? Do we just use them as a folder and thread topics? So this is, I did a AI 101 training yesterday, and it was really fun because I have that thing where I think everyone knows what I know. And everyone was very excited to learn about how to build custom GPTs. So yes, you have to have the paid version, and you just open your window here and you're going to click on explore, and then you just hit create. And they introduced a new thing, like it's not that new anymore, probably like 6 months ago, where you hit create and you can literally chat with ChatGPT about what you want to make, and it will create the GPT for you. So if you're feeling like, oh, I don't know how to prompt, or this is above my head, this is not. This is so easy to use, and there's really no way to mess up if you're chatting. All right. How many personalities can ChatGPT have? Marcia, maybe you're asking about how many GPTs you can have. You can have an unlimited amount of GPTs. And another thing to note is you can keep them private or you can share them. So one of the things that's really interesting is, especially for businesses like you guys who are smaller, but you still have teams, are creating GPTs, but then sharing them throughout your team. So once it's done, you could just hit copy link and you could share GPTs throughout your team. So what that means is like you could have a specific social media creator that's trained on your business, how you talk, how you work, and then you could share that throughout your whole team, and everyone could then create their social media that sounds on brand. Let's see. Do you have a preference of what version, ChatGPT or Claude, to create the knowledge-based SOPs? Yes, great question. And hello, Roya. I like to use GPT-4 to create SOPs. And that's only because that's what I've been hearing is the best one for writing internal and business documents. And let me show you guys what she's asking. In ChatGPT, when you just have a blank slate, you can click on legacy models and go to 4. Otherwise, it's on 5. So 5 is the latest version of ChatGPT. And then as far as Claude goes, I've been experimenting with Sonnet 4.5 because Opus consumes usage faster, and I do not have the pro account for Claude anymore. So hopefully that answers most of your questions. For those of you using Copilot, I'm sorry, I'm not a Copilot user, but I am learning to be a Copilot user by request. And I will tell you recently that ChatGPT has introduced, if you go to plus and then hit more, and then, where is this? There's somewhere in here where you can add in your, I think my ChatGPT knows I'm not, but there's somewhere you can add in your Microsoft products. And then just to kind of talk about pricing for these. So ChatGPT Pro is $20 a month if you're a single user. And then they have a Teams version as well. And then Claude, let me just triple check while we're here. Why not? I know they just introduced a new thing. Yeah. So I keep getting ads to go to Claude Max, but that's for if you're building a lot of websites and presentations with Max. But it looks like the Pro is just $17 a month. And then there's the free version, of course. Oh, and then Danny had a question of why are there so many GPT models, which is such a good question. So Chat GPT, and actually this kind of goes back to my presentations and what we're going to talk about next. So I'm going to answer what some of these terms are in a moment, but Danny had a great question. Why are there so many different versions of ChatGPT? Well, each version of ChatGPT is trained on its entire history of conversations that have happened inside of it. And so obviously now ChatGPT 5, OpenAI, and ChatGPT have 7 million users per month. Whereas ChatGPT 3, they probably only had like 500,000 maybe. So the vast difference is the conversations that you're having with ChatGPT are training the models. And along with that, the Internet of Things is training the models. And so while we're using this one, number 5, they're always working on the next ones and training up the next level. So each one's getting smarter and they're providing different tools as well. While we're on the subject, I'll go back to this, I promise. But in ChatGPT 5, this was the one that basically had the most updates. And it came out in May or June, I believe. But it came out with these abilities to do web search, agent mode, and deep research and company knowledge. And I really want to talk about agent mode the most. So agent mode, if you turn this on, takes ChatGPT from a content creation tool to an agentic AI, which means that it's actually going out to the internet and researching for you. I'm going to show you an example of this, of something I did yesterday. So this was in my AI 101 webinar that I did yesterday. In just regular ChatGPT, I said, create a 30-day marketing plan for Jam AI. So, it gives me this really great plan, but it's based on our interactions together and what ChatGPT knows about me, along with all of the training of the tool. But then I came down here and I turned on agent mode and did the same exact prompt. And you could see it left for 4 minutes. It was like, I'm out. So I went and got coffee, came back. And in that 4 minutes, it did 5 searches through 47 different sources. And then it created a marketing plan based on that information, along with what it knows about me and along with what it knows from its training. So you can see this one is much different. It has a lot more content inside of it. And you can see it's even citing sources of information that it's telling me to do and where it got it from. So that's agentic AI inside ChatGPT, and every model that comes out, they're bringing new capabilities. One more question was, do you need both ChatGPT and Claude? So that brings me to this. This is an LLM, so large language model, and that's what ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, those are all large language models. I would say no, you don't need both ChatGPT and Claude. I, and maybe it's just because I've been using them since 2023, but I feel like I have a relationship with these tools at this point in my life. And I have very specific things that I do in each one of those. So I use Gemini if I'm going to be creating images for ads or presentations or YouTube covers. And then I use ChatGPT for most of my workday because I have all those assistants, those custom GPTs inside of it. And then I use Claude for my email because I really think it sounds just like me. It never goes off script. It's always right there, and it's very true to how I sound based on the information that I've given it. So that's how I use my 3 LLMs, but I wouldn't say you need it. And if you had to pick just one, I would suggest ChatGPT because of those custom GPTs and also the ability to have projects. And I know I'm covering a lot here. This is why we have a whole community because there's just so much to cover. But I just want to, I don't want to throw out a term and not tell you what it is, but you could do projects inside of ChatGPT. And the best way to explain why is if you have one ChatGPT account, every time you're working with it, it's learning more about you. And so if you're, let's see, baby steps nanny agency, and you're constantly talking about your business and your customers and reviewing resumes and finding families, but then, it's Friday night, Thursday night, and you want to use ChatGPT to find a recipe, or you want to use ChatGPT to look into a spring break vacation, or check out your horoscope or the weather. The more you do that, the more it'll actually confuse ChatGPT about what you're trying to do and how to create content for your business. So it's smart to create projects for other ways that you use ChatGPT. So like you could name it horoscope, and then every time you want to check your horoscope, you open your project folder and then chat with ChatGPT. That way it's saving that information in this project folder, and it's not confusing ChatGPT on what your end goal is in your conversations. So hopefully that was helpful. So LLMs, we talked about those. Agentic AI. So I showed you the agentic AI capabilities inside of ChatGPT, but there's multiple agentic AI browsers that have become available for business owners like us, non-tech people. And so agentic AI is, again, when a AI tool is making decisions on its own. So you're not telling it, hey, go to wow.com and look at this. It's thinking through it. It says, oh, you know what? She asked me for a marketing plan, and I'm going to go to the internet and find the best tools and resources about creating a marketing plan and bring it back to her. Some of these agentic AI tools have completely blown my mind, especially in the past few weeks. This is from my last presentation, and this will all make sense in a moment. So this is called Manus.im, and it is an agentic AI. It was one of the first ones that became available, and this is by far becoming one of my favorite tools out there. This is one, for those of you who were at APNA, this is the one where I have a really cool prompt that'll teach you all how to create an LLM training guide about your business. So I put in a prompt that'll have you have this tool pretty much stock your business and you as a business owner, and it'll come back with a full report on who you are, who your clients are, what your brand stands for. And it puts together this really amazing document that outlines your business in a way that makes these LLMs understand more about you. So when you go into ChatGPT and write, give me a marketing plan, you then will upload the document from Manus and it gives you a much better response. But besides that, it can create images, it can create spreadsheets. Like here's some images that it's created. It could do presentations and slideshows. So that's what my last webinar was about, was creating presentations in here. It creates entire websites, spreadsheets. It's really great at data. So this is a really cool tool that I suggest that you take a look at. So that's agentic AI. And then we talked about automation. That's what we talked about earlier, where I have my blog post that gets, through this entire system and then gets published in a few different places. So we recommend the platform called make.com. And make.com is a really easy way to have small business owners create automations. And we're actually doing a webinar on this next week with our AI expert named Kevin, and he's going to be doing an entire presentation just on automations for small businesses that are easy to create and implement. So if you're interested in that, definitely join Club Jam before next Tuesday when he does that. But I just want to show you a few more of these. So of course we've built a lot of these, but they're all really easy. And what I love about make.com is how visual it is. So we were doing some meta ads. So any Facebook leads would go to a Google sheet, and then we would send an automatic email directly to that prospect. So super simple, hands-free follow-up for automation. There are multiple other platforms for automation out there. And if you just did a quick Google search or searched in chat, it would probably give you like 5 or 6 different platforms. And feel free to poke around and check those out. But make.com is by far the easiest to use. Okay. And then the other word that gets thrown around when you talk about AI is autonomous AI. And that's not really things that we work with, but again, just kind of knowing the vocabulary, that's more like Alexa or Siri or Waymo. So that's what that word means. Peter Van Ryder, you asked a great question. What do you find are the key AI services every company should have? So your perfect timing for your question. I like to call this your AI tool stack. So of course, every company is different, but I do believe that there's a perfect AI tool stack for businesses just starting out and businesses growing a little bit too. So there's kind of different ones that you would need. So here's what it does look like a lot in the beginning, but I'm going to show you the tools that we recommend. And then I'll tell you like the 3 that I suggest that you get to start after we talk about all of these. So this one is Fathom, this one right here. And any sort of tool that you have that records your Zoom conversations is great. So it could be Fathom, it could be the Zoom AI recording inside Zoom, it could be Otter AI, but it's really important to have our conversations recorded when it makes sense, and obviously ask your clients if it's okay. There's probably situations for a lot of us where we don't record it, but anywhere where you're working on a project or you're doing prospecting, I highly suggest having these recorded, because that's how I have my custom GPT, my business development person, build me proposals so quickly. So right after I get off of a prospecting call, I can upload our transcript right into that custom GPT with Morgan. I think I lost her. You guys know what I'm talking about. And she will spit out a proposal exactly how she's trained to do. And it's all based on that transcript in Fathom. I also highly recommend Canva. So if you do any sort of design for your company, it is a great tool to really keep your brand standards alive. Make sure everything that you create looks the same. You want to make sure that people are recognizing your brand. I've seen it multiple times that somebody has to see your brand 8 times before they even, log it. Otherwise, it just kind of keeps going past them. So if you have all these different looks out there, nobody's going to recognize you. But if you keep showing up in that same brand, then people will start to connect the dots. Pi.ai is a amazing partnership tool. And so it's kind of like this emotional EQ. Some people call it their therapist in a pocket. But I really like to talk to it about business stuff. And I had a great talk with it the other day about how I'm just feeling like my calendar is getting too busy and I love it and I love what I do, but like it's a lot. And it gave me this great suggestion of after our Friday morning club jam meetings to just call it and like don't do Fridays, leave Fridays for personal work. And I think I'm going to do that. Claude, we already talked about. 11 Labs is where we build our AI avatars that are our customer service ones. And they're really neat and really easy to do. So if you want to build a chatbot or a voice-to-voice type bot for your business, it's incredibly easy to do. Literally just as easy as doing those custom GPTs. And then I'm going to skip this one because it's out now. We talked about Gemini, we talked about ChatGPT, and we talked about make.com already. The only thing we didn't talk about is HeyGen, and they actually just got a new brand remodel, but HeyGen is where you can actually create an avatar of yourself, or you can create an avatar or create videos with avatars that are already made. So this is my AI avatar, and she's great because there's a lot of times I don't really want to like do my hair or makeup, but I have to make a video. And so I can just type in a script right here and it'll look like me exactly. I'm actually going to stop sharing and then share again so I can share audio. I forgot to hit that little button. All right. And then I'll show you how this works. All right, so let me find one that's actually longer than 2 seconds. Okay, here it is. So this is not me. Hey guys, I wanted to show you my new avatar and also wanted to tell you about my 53,489 webinars and events this week. Okay, well really it's 5, but it seems like a lot more than that because I jammed most of them into one day. I love seeing, so I won't have you watch the whole thing, but it's pretty incredible how realistic it is. I did try to sneak it into a landing page video or a landing page sales video that I was supposed to do for one of our projects. And they actually didn't know it was an avatar. And they did get back and say, you just seem a little stiff. Like you don't have your normal vibrant attitude. Like maybe you need to reshoot it. But once I told them it was an avatar, they were like, oh, actually, say it's an avatar and then we could keep it. Because it's so close, but it does kind of seem like, it's a little bit off sometimes. And then you could also use their avatars. You can see, let's see, there's this guy.
Remember the tortoise and the hare, where slow and steady wins. Not anymore. Today, business owners need to be quick. AI is moving fast. If you don't keep up.
So actually, this platform called this HeyGen platform had a big update just last week, and they are now integrated with Sora AI, which is the new AI video platform that OpenAI, the parent company of ChatGPT, made. And so they have this new crazy functionality, which you kind of saw here, this was a chat to a video. So this was a chat that I said, hey, remember the tortoise and the hare story where slow and steady wins the race? Well, that's not really the case. And then I said, blah, 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 create a video about this. And so it took all of that and created a video with this guy. So completely created it entirely just from text. And we did another one just the other day for my friend Claire. Let's see. This one. So this was the other one. We said, we went into ChatGPT and asked it to create a basically 30-second video about her company. And so then we just pasted what ChatGPT came up with. And again, it did this like, hey, is this what you were looking for? And we thought this was really good. I'm going to play it for you.
We all say we love innovation until it's time to change the way we work. Every new tool promises to make life easier, but somehow it ends up feeling like another login, another workflow, another headache. Change isn't hard because we can't do it. It's hard because comfort feels safe. But here's the truth. Comfort doesn't scale. Curiosity does. At Industry Insight, we built our platform to make progress feel effortless. From product discovery to feedback to connection,
I won't make you watch the whole thing. The cool thing was that it did pull in this B-roll all by itself. So I thought that was pretty cool. But she was the one where it was a great example of, you have to have your brand voice and all of your content pillars and what you're going to speak to all prepared before you even start using AI to generate scripts and blog posts and social media, because you want to make sure that all this content you're creating is spot on with your brand. And then also just thinking of the environment, like we're all using AI. We all know it's taking power and resources. And if we do this work ahead of time, the content that we're creating can be usable. There's so much content being created and just thrown out. And so this is a way to be a little bit more green-minded with your AI use. And so I want you all to just take this and you could either screenshot it or I'm happy to put this as a follow-up, Danny, if that's okay. But I have a couple prompts that I want to share with you guys. And again, your brand voice is really your biggest asset, especially with everyone learning AI and people being able to create so much content. It's like, how do you stand out? How do you make sure you're different? Well, it's by creating your brand voice. So this is a really fun prompt. It's called the AI archetyped discovery prompt. And let me grab it. And then the voice DNA prompt as well. So hold on, it's in here. There we go. So here's the AI powered archetype prompt. Actually, I'll see if I can put it in the chat. It might be too long though. Oh, it worked. Nope. Oh, it's only 14 characters too long though. So here, I'm gonna take out the last paragraph. There you go. All right, so I put that into the chat. Sorry, it's in two pieces there, but whatever's in the brackets, if you could fill in your own company information there, that would be awesome. And then what this is going to do is it's going to give you a brand archetype from the framework of Carl Jung, who's like this amazing marketing person. And it's going to give you a secondary archetype and then explain why it fits your business. And then it gives you examples of how your voice should sound. And then it's going to give 3 brands that kind of show this archetype to you to kind of give it some context. And then once you have that, After you get those results, you're going to stay in that same chat in ChatGPT and you're going to put in this one. So this is your voice DNA, and this is what helps you come up with your content pillars. Now, this is just kind of a sneak peek of our AI marketing and branding training. There's a lot more that could go into it, but just with these two prompts, I feel like you'll get an idea of kind of what we're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and paste this one in. So that's the voice DNA. So I really would love for you guys to try those out and report back to me. I'd love to see what you come up with. And then let me just end on some of these lessons, and then I'd love to take more questions from you all. So these are lessons coming from some of our members. You know, a lot of people are trying to implement AI everywhere they can. And I really want you to start with the bottleneck, not the bot. So there's a lot of cool, shiny AI tools out there right now, but make sure that you're looking at what your actual business problem is and how to solve that rather than just signing up for whatever looks cool. And along with that is workflows before tools. So kind of talked about that with the brand aspect, but it's also workflows. I had somebody call and they asked me to create a AI agent to do their like their email marketing, but they had never done email marketing campaigns before. So we had very little processes. We had no data around what was working and what wasn't. So make sure you understand like your workflows and what's working in your business before, again, you grab a shiny tool. Prompting is a process, not poetry. I think this is something that's really important to think about. Prompting is a conversation between you and a bot. And while there's really amazing prompts like the ones I just shared with you guys, it's also, especially when you're working with these agentic AIs, it's really a conversation to be had. And it's about what you need at that time. You want to give it specificity, you want to give it context, and you want to give it as much framework as you possibly can. And then finally, your data is the difference. If so many people say like, oh, AI doesn't work or that tool sucks or whatever. And it's like, well, probably what you put in wasn't great. So again, like the more you know about your brand, your tone, what you need from these AI tools, and the more you can ask for that, the better the result. So, okay, I'm going to leave you with this. Start using AI this week. I want you guys to use Mocha AI. It is my favorite tool. And I'm going to share one more thing with you guys. So, an AI repository. So, I've talked to a few of you about these individually. As we're going out and creating prompts for our business and custom GPTs and all that stuff, it's getting messy, right? So we are creating these and they're really fun because you can copy it and make it just for you and your business. It's your own personal AI tool and it's 100% free, and it's really just about staying organized and staying motivated. So this is mine that I'm sharing, and I could put in a to-do list. I could check it off each day. I have manifestation updates and goals in here because I am really focused on growing my business and growing in a very specific way. But then here's the important part, assets. So I have prompt library in here, custom GPTs, I have agents in here, and then agentic task prompts in here as well. So if you are using AI, you need this. And if you have more than one person on your team right now, you really need this. So this is in what's called Mocha AI. It is free to use. Trying to show you the backside. Here we go. And all you do is I'll show you a QR code where you can get this exact prompt and tool. And then all you do is you would just go over here and chat to it and say, this is my business and this is how I want to set up my AI repository. And you just have a conversation with it. So Mocha AI does a lot more than just create the repository. You can do landing pages, entire websites. We didn't get to vibe coding today, but vibe coding is an entire new type of building websites and apps. And it's literally just speaking to the AI or typing to the AI. But with this QR code, you'll get a free account. So if you want that, go ahead and grab it. And then I'll put in the chat too a link to this, because you'll see here at the lower right-hand corner, you could say clone with Mocha. And that's how you get this little, that's how you get the recipe for this AI repository. So once you hit, clone, then it becomes yours and yours only, and you could start using it. So I told you I'd leave you guys with a few tools that I think everyone should use. And so my top 3 tools would be ChatGPT, Mocha, and Manus AI. So those are the 3 that I want you guys to remember. So, okay, here's the code again. Can you guys see it? Okay. Hi, JM. If I already did the Mocha originally with your prompt, is it automatically in there? Yes, it should be in your account. And if you have troubles with that, you can always message me. But everything I've ever done is still in there. I will say, I was working with one of you, I will not say who, and it kept trying to make it into a nanny website. And so I did talk to the people at Mocha, and they just said, if that's the case, you kind of have to reset the instructions. So you can always use AI to help you with that. All right. I would love to get to a few more questions. So I'm going to stop sharing and get to those. Okay. That was a lot of me talking. Privacy. Yeah, how do you protect privacy? That is a big question. And it depends on what that privacy is. Everyone has different levels of what they feel is secure and not. For me, I am on the ChatGPT business account. And so what that means is they're not using our work to train their models. But I'm saying that because I just found that out yesterday, because I usually don't mind that my chats are training their models. If you have a question around specific security, go ahead and type it in. But I know a lot of people are asking about security around, access to your Google Drive and your Gmail and your calendar. I've been using marketing technology for the past 15 years. And so I've been allowing different platforms to access all of my Chrome browser and new browsers. And you guys are too, probably. Like if you guys are using TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, like it can have access to your contacts, to, well, it depends what you say yes to. But I would suggest if you have a specific Gmail account, this is what I do. I have a specific Gmail account for my business that has like my EIN and kind of more personal and confidential information. I have that in an account that I don't have linked to any AI tools. I also have that account separate for accounting and finance and all taxes and all that stuff. So that's been helpful to kind of keep that separate. And then as far as, client confidentiality, you don't want to put in people's credit card numbers, bank account numbers, just general security and safety tips for any AI. Kind of like what you're not supposed to put in Gmail or your Outlook email, don't put into ChatGPT. Okay. How to clean up ChatGPT and put everything where it should be. That's a great question. You can click on past chats that you've had and organize them into conversations. I feel like that might be worth showing. That's a great question. You just simply go to your chat and then you can click these three dots and you could, sorry, I didn't mean to hit share. Now it's going to spin around. You can share these also. You can copy a link and share your chat, or you can archive it, or, oh, this one was in Casey. Or let me find one that's not inside of a custom GPT. So you can take any chat and say move to project. So if you have a very messy inbox, I would suggest doing that, or not inbox, chat section. Okay, let's see. What is the best way to create visibility in your company? Molly, great question. Are you talking about visibility for your company from a marketing standpoint or within your business? For clients to find you? Well, that's a whole thing, isn't it? That's what my entire business is built off of, is showing how to do that from both a prospecting and a marketing perspective. And I'm sorry, Molly, but that's a whole other webinar. So Danny, maybe that's our next webinar, is prospecting with AI. If I had to give you one thing, I know you listed a few, I think people overlook email marketing a lot. And I do think it's the most powerful way to get your business in front of people. Then Sharon, photos we make in Gemini come out blurry. Any tips? Oh, strange. I'd love to see one sometime, but I haven't had that problem with them coming out blurry. I would honestly, I think AIs love transparency. You could say, don't make it blurry and see what happens. I know it sounds funny, but the more direct you can be, oh, try that. Maybe the images that you're uploading, are those blurry? One, probably not. That would make no sense. I'm not sure, Sharon. I wish I could help you with that. I haven't, it's one of those things where it's like I can't recreate it, but if you want to send them over via email, I'd love to see them. Or things like that. If anyone wants to join Club Jam, that's where you can post things like that in the community, and we have multiple AI experts to kind of help us answer some of these questions. Oh, that link is not working. Cool. Danny, are we able to do an email follow-up?
Absolutely. I will have an email follow-up for like the recording of all of this and any other good stuff we want to add in. We will definitely do that. So you just,
okay.
You know.
Yeah, sorry about that link, guys. I'll get you a new one, and I'll get a, yeah, I'll make sure to write it out a little bit more with more instructions for you, Danny.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Well, thanks for having me, Danny. This is great.
Oh my gosh, this was amazing. I learned so much. I always do. I think everybody else did. I'm not gonna do all of the selling for you on Jam AI, but I will say, if you like this webinar, that's really what being in her community is like. I'm in the community. I find it a lot of fun, and I learn a lot of stuff, and I use AI every day, all day for engine hire, with a team of other people that use AI all day for our business. So I have a lot of fun in there too. She makes it really, really easy for me to understand, kind of like what you just saw, of like, oh, here's how I can just use it in my business day to day for all sorts of general tasks, because it can feel very overwhelming. But we will have a recording of this. I'll send it out to you all as soon as possible. And Jam, thanks again for doing this for us, and let us know if there's anything else you'd like to share before we close it all out.
No, I'm going to follow up with some more detail about Club Jam and those prompts that I showed you, and then also the QR code for Mocha as well. But thank you so much for having me, and I am looking forward to connecting with you next time.
Great. Everybody, thank you all so much and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.